All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about micro and macroeconomics. Now, when it comes to microeconomics, we're looking at economics on an individual scale, okay, such as individuals, businesses, as well as households. Okay, so this is microeconomics. Okay, this has to do with economics on an individual scale. All right, so this could be concerning your households, individual businesses, such as sole proprietorships, for example. Okay, so business and individuals in general. So an example would be how individuals and households should spend their budget. Okay, that would be part of microeconomics. Okay, so how individuals and households they spend their money based on a budget. Okay, and this budget may be based on the macroeconomy in general. Okay, it could be based on the type of economic activities within a country, such as inflation, recession, so on and so forth. Okay, so economics does concern with macroeconomics as well. Well, if you talk about microeconomics in particular, this has to do with individuals, households, and businesses. So we're looking at a much smaller scale, a narrower scale compared to a broader scale like macroeconomics, where you're talking about countries, monetary policies, a fiscal policy, so on and so forth. All right, another example of microeconomics would be consumption of goods and services, for example. So consumption, we know that consumption does bump up your GDP, your gross domestic product. Okay, and so does capital investment by businesses. Okay, so microeconomics has to do with consumption, okay, of goods and services. All right, and the third one, okay, let's look at another example how people decide whether to work or not. Okay, so this has to do with employment. How people decide whether to work or not. And the last one has to do with, okay, how much people should borrow. Okay, so borrowing and lending. In terms of financial products, you're looking at line of credit, okay, personal loan, okay, auto loan, okay, private lenders, for example, so on and so forth. So borrowing and lending. We know that as the money supply in the bank goes up, they're able to lend more money, okay, in the form of a financial product such as line of credit or personal loan. Okay, and microeconomics has to do with how people borrow and spend their money, for example. So borrowing and lending money and how much they should borrow, okay, beyond their needs, for example. So how much people, okay, how much people should borrow. Okay, people should borrow. All right, now apart from that, macroeconomics on the other side. So this is macro, this is on a broader scale, macroeconomics. Macroeconomics has to do with economics on a broader scale. So this is economics on a broader scale. So we're looking at the entire country, for example, the entire nation. We could be looking at a region such as North America, where you have different types of agreements between different countries. Okay, you could be looking at European Union, for example. Okay, so the entire region. Or we could be looking at international trade, such as import and export. Okay, when we look at national economy, when we look at the economy within a country, we're talking about things like monetary policies and fiscal policies. So monetary policies and fiscal policies. Okay, we're looking at recession and inflation. In terms of the banks, we're talking about money supply and bank runs, for example. So money supply, bank runs, central banks, so on and so forth. All right. So apart from that, that would be it for this video when it comes to micro versus macroeconomics. This is Obey. Have yourself a great day.